if we take a look at this, what I've got here, and I gave you a clue of what this is on the title, can you tell me some observations that you could make about this to start off? These are going to be important to us as we go through the whole investigation. Yeah?
It's a water bottle.
It's a water bottle. Now, normally that we wouldn't know for sure it's a water bottle. We know it's a water bottle because the title says water bottle, but that would have been an inference. But other observations, what can you say?
There's water in it.
There's water in it.
There's 3 pieces of tape on it.
There's 3 pieces of tape on it. Good, yeah.
There's some white tape on the back.
There is the leftover white tape on the back. Yeah.
It's about 2 liters.
It's about 2 liters. What do you think?
It's a pretty big water bottle.
It's a big water bottle.
There's a cap on it.
There's a cap on it. Nice job. Yeah.
The tape is blue.
The tape is blue.
It might have been a soda bottle.
Might have been a soda bottle. Very nice. Okay. Anything else you want to add to it? So we've got a water bottle. There's 3 pieces of tape. There's a cap on it.
It looks like it's leaking.
It does look like it's leaking a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. It's clear. Nice job, you guys. Good observations. There's something else that is hard to tell. You wouldn't know this unless I gave you time to hold it. But another observation that we would make is that there are 3 holes here, and then the tape is covering those holes. Okay? So now on your paper, there's a little area there that says initial observations. So if you can go ahead and write down everything that you know about this so far, that you think is going to be important to the investigation as we go through it. Okay? So some of the things that we said, go ahead and write those down. Those are your initial observations. What do you think would happen if we just take off this top piece of tape here? Okay, so I want you just to think for a minute before you answer. What do you think would happen with this water bottle if I just take off this one piece of tape right here? And before you answer, you've already thought about it. There's our question. And then what I want you to do is I want you to talk to your partner for just a minute about what you think is going to happen, and try and think about why you think that's going to happen. So when you come up with an answer, this is what I think is going to happen to your partner, and this is why I think that's going to happen. Okay? So take about 2 minutes to talk to your partner about what you think is going on.
There's a hole in one time. I think the water's going to come out, but it's going to lower the level of water until the height of the hole. Yeah. Then it'll stop leaking out. Vertical, right?
Yeah, good question. That's an excellent question. The bottle will be vertical just like it is right now when we take the tape off. Let's try it again here. All right. They're so attentive. All right, ready? Here we go. This one isn't leaking.
Oh. Oh.
So what's happening? Okay, we're not sure why it's happening, but something's happening that water's not coming out, right? Maybe, so we have an idea that something to do with surface tension, or maybe I pushed the nail, when I pushed the nail in, I got some of the plastic in there. These are all good hypotheses. Okay, so I already heard some great ideas. Any other ideas about what could be going on? Maybe I pushed it in with the nail and the plastic's there. Maybe there's some kind of surface tension. Yeah.
I think it kind of relates to like surface tension because you can fit a lot of water droplets on a penny and it doesn't overflow.
Okay, so you've done that experiment before? Cool. So now on your paper right there, we have a section for actions and observations. This was the first experiment that we did. The first investigation was we took 1 piece of tape off. And the observations that we would make is that no water came out. Now this is important for us when we try and figure out what's going on in this little system. And we already have like 3 really good ideas for why the water didn't come out. And you are going to use those ideas to help you figure out more investigations. Okay, so now where it says actions, go ahead and write down, remove 1 piece of tape. Where it says observations, write down that no water came out.
What would happen if you had different, used a different liquid in the bottle or in the pond? What would happen to the water?
What's the thick? It depends on
What
the
would happen to
thickness.
the
It was
water?
like corn syrup. It's not gonna come out because it's way thicker.
Because when the density of the mass changed, I was wondering if how it would affect it. Because if you put something that's pretty close to water, like milk, in a pond, and you put water sliders on, I wonder how they would react to
I
it.
think milk has surface.
And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a second for you to talk in your teams with your same partners about what you think is going on that made water not come out, okay? So let's take 2 minutes, talk to the same partner. What do you think is going on?
There's no chance for air to go in.
That there's no flow.
There's no way of the water coming out unless physical contact and squeezing the bottle.
Or provoking the water by poking.
Well, yeah, because that would allow some air in. Anything allowing air in would because of the surface tension.
Yeah, also breaking the tension.
Yeah, if the hole was probably bigger, then the water would have probably came out.
Yes,
I think the other holes are going to be larger.
I know if we take off,
I think the other holes are going to be bigger.
if you take off the bottom one below it, then water would most likely come out of that one and air would go in the top one.
Well, what if you don't take off the top one and just take off the middle one?
Like that, then it'd be the same
thing,
effect.
yeah.
Unless there's enough
Unless it's
water
bigger
pressure.
unless if it's bigger and allows the air
huge.
pass. Unless that allows the air
There's
pass.
more water above it. So there'll be more weight. And if there's the hole lower down, then it might push the
It might, yeah. Kunal does have a point. Like if we remove the bottom piece, then the water above it might push it down, so it come out.
But
Okay,
also if there's two
so go ahead and finish up your last idea.
removed.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to use all those ideas that you had, and we're going to think up some investigations that we could do that would help us figure out, is it that when we poked a hole, there's plastic in there? Is there something else going on? And so what we're going to do now in our team is we're going to come up with some investigations that we could do that are going to help us understand why when we took off the first piece of tape, no water came out. When we do this, before we get started on the investigations, we're going to use this kind of like talking sticks, but it's a little bit less formal. It's called Say Something. And the way it works is this. In your team, one person's going to say, I think we should do this investigation because if this happens, it'll tell us something. And then another person's going to add to that. I think another investigation we could do would be blank. And you're just going to go through till everyone has come up with an idea of something you could do with that water bottle to help us understand what's going on. You don't have to go in any kind of order. Everyone should contribute once so that we get everybody's ideas. If you don't have an idea, you can say, I'm not sure at this time. Can you come back to me? But we'll keep going till everybody comes up with an idea.
Can I just say one thing? Because since when we poke the hole and we just take the tape out, it's creating a vacuum because if the water comes out, no air is going in, there's going to be a vacuum in the top. So you have to remove the cap so air can flow in and it's a constant flow.
It just says action, so we just have to write remove the cap. We don't have to worry about that right now. We can also
Taking off another piece of tape.
take off the lowest tape.
It'd do pretty much the same thing, but I'm not sure if most likely it'd come out the bottom hole only because air would be going in the higher hole, but the higher hole is below the water line, so
We could try taking off all pieces of tape and still leaving the cap on to see if it is like a vacuum.
I don't think that's going to
That
affect it.
That wouldn't work. 'Cause
Maybe
there's
if we
maybe we could try the one that we said before. Oh, sorry.
maybe if we
Keep
broke
going.
the water tension by like poking the water so that the water tension breaks and the water is able to flow freely.
because that let air in.
Break water
Yeah.
tension.
We could poke.
Break the water tension.
When you have 4 investigations, come on up and grab your bowl and water. You guys ready?
We have to use it again. Take it off and hang it on this so it stays dry.
Yeah. Called it.
Was it different? Are they different sizes or something?
No,
We're supposed to remove them all. Remove the last one
It's
quickly.
good.
Remove it. Let's see if they all start squirting.
Yeah, this
Only
is
the
working
bottom
really
two.
well.
Only the bottom two because the air is flowing through here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, watch. Hey, Jenny, look,
That's what.
see, like the water.
Okay, now let's fill it up before we empty the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that
So show me what your investigations are. Have you done any yet?
Yeah, we did all 3 pieces
And then
of
the
tape.
air went into the
Air went through this and the water came out.
Okay, all right, and that was with the lid on when you did that?
Wait,
Yeah, with the lid on.
Okay, good. You need to record those observations down here.
Yeah.
What's your next plan?
Removing the bottom piece of tape.
And everything else is the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So now if you can go ahead and write down what you found out in this activity. What do we know? We know one thing. 1 piece of tape off, water doesn't come out, right? We know that. So go ahead and write down the things that you know from this experiment. And then I would imagine that there are some other questions that have come up. What do you want to know? What questions do you still have about this system here? Okay? I'm going to show you a little video now that will hopefully help us get some more ideas here.
We discover extraordinary events, even in something as ordinary as a garden pond. The water behaves as if it has a thin elastic film on the surface. It's called surface tension.
We just saw some good stuff that might help us understand what's going on with the water bottle. And I want you to add to or revise. If you wrote something down here that now you can want to clarify, or if you found something else out, add it to your KWL chart in the K column, okay? Or if you have any new questions, all right? So you can talk in your team.
We took off all 3 pieces of tape. The first one relieved the amount of tension inside the bottle.
I believe that because of the surface tension, the air, just like the milk in the video, was bounced back.
Wait, are you talking about the one where we only put off 1 piece of tape? Yeah.
Like the video, how it said in the video, it said it was like a trampoline with the ponds right it like bounces back. I
Yeah.
think that's how it was with the water in the first hole. It like pushed it back inside.
Yeah, they said it was like as if there was an elastic membrane in the water.
We're going to go ahead and read this to ourselves. This is 2 articles on scientific principles that are involved in the water bottle. So you're going to go ahead and read this to yourself. And when you come across the vocabulary terms that are written right here, you're going to fill in the chart for that. The first column is asking you, do you know it? You've heard it before, or you've never heard that word. You don't know it. Then I want you to write the definition as it appears in this article, but you can put it in your own words. And then finally, come up with an example from the real world of any of those vocabulary terms, okay? Now, we're going to go back to our KWL chart. We did 3 things. We did an experiment involving this water bottle. That was our first thing. Then we saw a video. Then we did a reading. We've had some discussion in between there. What have we learned about this water bottle from all these things? Take a couple minutes. You can talk to your partner to do this, to complete the what have we learned about this system right here from everything that we did. Add to your L chart, okay? All right, we good? So go ahead and add to your L chart, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Water?
Yeah, but the hole is tiny too, which prevents the water from coming out. If the hole was bigger, then it would probably come out of the hole.
Since the hole was small, the fluid pressure was high.
So
So it's probably a combined part of fluid pressure and surface tension, right?
This
Water.
We were going to explain this and say, all right, will water leak out of a closed container? What's our first statement? This would be our claim if we were doing a CER. Yeah.
Water will not leak out of the bottle.
Beautiful. Water will not leak out of the bottle. What's your evidence for that? This should be pretty straightforward. What's your evidence that water's not going to leak out of it? Yeah.
We took the tape off and it just like...
We took the tape off and no water came out of it. What's the science behind that? What's the science that backs that up? Yeah.
Since there's pressure within the bottle, it's hard for like water to escape.
Okay.
So still pressure within the bottle.
Because the pressure is equal? Okay. Why doesn't the water come out also? There's pressure that's sort of balanced, but why doesn't, what's the other thing that's involved with this? I think it's been said a few times. Think back to either the reading or the video. Why else doesn't it come out? I see one hand, I see two, I got a few people. Yeah? Yeah, what do you think?
Because there's surface tension.
Because there's surface tension, good. So there's surface tension, there's pressure, you guys got to see it. Now, the reading, sometimes if you get the reading first, the reading's confusing and doesn't mean anything. So how does doing the activity help for that? Starting with the activity, is it useful?
Yes. Yeah, because people who are visual learners, they can see that it doesn't work instead of just reading it.
Instead of just reading it, okay. Yeah, was it helpful to you? You have to do it that way? Okay, all right.